welcome back. I don't know where you were, but what's most important is that you came back. So that's the main thing. It's just like life, whenever we fall, it's not about how many times, we just got to get back up. Hopefully you kept up your movement practice while you were gone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, welcome back. Today, we're going to be starting from a standing position. Usually we start laying down, and that has benefits. And then there's also benefit to starting standing up. All right, so in any case, as I was mentioning, we're going to be starting from a standing position this time to do a standing check-in. And then we're going to move right into some bouncing, some break falls, some sprawls. Um, and then we're going to get down on the ground and do some movement there. We'll get back up into some more standing stuff, and then we're going to move into a beautiful stretch and probably add some massage and stuff like that. Okay? I guess without further ado, let's turn our attention inside. And remember, make sure today that you modify all movements to work for you. Make sure that you're really turning your attention inside. No matter what I say and no matter what I'm doing, make sure that you prioritize what your body's saying. Okay? So this movement practice is really all about taking our attention inside and cultivating a healthier relationship with ourselves through functional movement patterns. Okay? All right, fam. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start from a standing position. So let's go ahead and come to standing, please. So we're going to be mobilizing things pretty much from the ground up, but we're going to start with some healthfully, which is the Hawaiian abdominal massage or visceral manipulation. So that's kind of where we're going to start today. So let's go ahead and come into a standing position with our hands placed on our abdomen. Okay, so with your hands on your abdomen, hand over hand, all you're going to do is you're just going to start to make some clockwise circles. Just 5, okay? From there, you're going to take one hand into the back side and do the same exact thing. So you can see one hand is doing circles on the back and one hand is doing circles on the front. Once you've done about 5, switch hands. So now you're getting this other side going. And you'll notice the shoulder is getting a nice little mobilization, nice little stretch there. And that's the point. So we're massaging our abdominal area, but we're also getting a nice little gentle stretch in those shoulders. Okay? Okay, so from here, we're going to squeeze on the ascending and descending colon. So you take your hands right at the level of the hips, right above the hips actually, and then just squeeze with your fingers on the back side, thumbs a little bit more towards the side and front, whatever you can grab. Now remember, as you're massaging your abdomen, this is a good time to love this part of your body. This is an important time to get in tune with what's going on in there, this is like the only battery for energy in the whole body. This is where we absorb the power and energy from the sun, from the foods and everything else we're eating. So make sure that you're using your mind to work for you, not against you. All right, so after we've done this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sweep our hands side to side. So you can see my hand is just sliding across the front, and then on the back side, it's just sliding with the back part of my hand. So the back side of my hand is massaging into the abdominal area. Now, if you want to be adding some gentle hip mobilizations while you do this, that's totally cool. The more movement you add, the more movement you add. Okay? All right, from here, we're going to take our right palm. You could stay standing. I'm just getting close to my TV screen here. TV, computer, whatever. Anyways, right hand, left side of the neck, squeeze, and then gently stroke through the sternum and end the hand in the abdominal area. Switch sides. So left hand goes on the right side of the neck. Gentle squeeze, gentle massage, and then when you're ready, stroke through the sternum into the abdomen, switch sides. Okay? So this is really good just to massage along the muscles of the lateral neck, posterior neck, even at the base of the skull, and then stroking through the sternum and then ending the hands in the abdominal area. Okay, so let's just keep a few of those going here. Nice gentle movements, nice and easy, nice and relaxed. From here, we're going to take our fingers in the back side of our skull, and we're just going to gently mobilize our neck. So you're just going to kind of explore around and see what movements your neck wants to move into today, adding some gentle finger pad movements just to massage those muscles at the base of the skull, sides of the neck. Just kind of get yourself nice and relaxed. Inhale, exhale, and make sure that every movement you do today has breath work integrated into it. Okay, so always focusing on that efficiency aspect as you move today. Okay, nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Okay, so from here, we're going to take that massage and we're going to take it into each one of the legs. So you're going to take your hand on the front and back of your leg, and you're simply going to stroke all the way down towards your foot and come right back up. That's simple. Okay, you can add some gentle circles in the hip, maybe add some gentle movements of the hip, stroke down, stroke up, and repeat. We're doing that about 5 times. Okay, so you'll notice as you go down, you can move your body in a lot of different ways as you massage down through the leg. Now let's switch sides after you get to that 5-rep mark. Okay, so what's really important is massaging all the complex geometry areas, the areas where the vasculature, has to move through a complex geometry. Those are areas that you really want to massage. So like the inner thigh, back side, all these areas. And you're just, even if you're just touching it, it has a therapeutic value or a therapeutic benefit. Okay? So about 5 of these strokes, nice and easy. Again, you can change your position, move your body a little bit, just noticing how that feels to massage into the leg. Let's go ahead and massage into the shoulders really quickly. Okay, so just adding some gentle touching in the shoulder region. Maybe just seeing how things are feeling this morning. Move your shoulder around while you support underneath it. Maybe take the hand at the back of the head of the side that you're mobilizing. Whatever you like. Take the stroke into the arm itself, down into the forearm, especially into those wrists, because you know me, fam. We're going to be getting on the ground today, getting up and down. So we want to make sure all the tissues of the body are ready, but especially the wrists and fingers. Okay? Switch sides. So now you're moving into the other side. It's kind of like when you're taking a shower, you're just really cleaning in there, touching those areas. And mind your thoughts as you go. Get your body in a position that matches power. Okay? So power positions, right? If you felt sad and miserable, you'd probably be like this. But what if you felt strong and powerful? Then how would your body look? Get into that position, okay? All right. So we're going to move into our first movement series. We're going to start with some gentle bouncing on the balls of the feet. That's simple. We're going to start to get that blood and circulation moving. So let's go ahead just on the balls of the feet, just nice little bounce. Now you can always add to this whenever you're ready. Let's say you want to kind of bring it up off the ground and get a little space between you and the ground. That's cool. What if you wanted to add some side to side motion? That's cool. Maybe if you want to get into more of like a boxer shuffle forward and back. That's totally cool. Maybe switch stance, get the other side going. Okay? Maybe you want to take it to the next level and practice landing from a jump. Okay, so you can bounce and then just kind of shoot those hips back. Boom, arms come forward to catch yourself. Okay? So gentle bounce and catch. Inhale, exhale. We're just starting to move the fluids of the body. So if you think about what's the purpose of this movement, move the fluids of the body. That's the purpose of this movement. Okay, let's go ahead and shake it out. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms, shake out the spine. And you know you're doing it right, because if you make a sound, it should sound like this. That's how you know you're mobilizing or shaking your spine. Okay, the next movement is break falls. So We're just going to slowly lower ourselves towards the ground, rock back, smack the ground gently with your hand, and then use rocking to come back up to standing. Okay? We have three options. I could go straight back. I can also go to the left, or I can go to the right. So just move the circulation, stay nice and loose. This isn't about how hard you can do it or how hard you can fall. It's teaching your body how to fall gracefully. So you want to lower yourself with control. I always like to put a hand behind my head to catch my head. That's me. Okay, keep shaking out those wrists, getting ready because sprawls are coming next. So just getting that nice, good circulation moving. Inhale, exhale. Make sure there's lots of movement happening between the bottom of your pelvic bowl and the clavicles. Okay, the next movement is sprawls. So if sprawls are challenging for you, maybe come or start from a kneeling position. What you're going to do is you're simply going to lower yourself towards the ground. You're going to lower yourself slowly and look off to the side. Just like that. Now keep your spine in a good strong position. Draw your belly button towards your spine as you press yourself back up. Then maybe, put your head to the other side. Same exact things. You're lowering and then coming right back up. Okay? So you're coming down and coming right back up. Now, if that's hard on your wrists, you can use a loose fist. Okay, lower yourself down that way too. You can try lowering with your elbows close to your body. You can also try with your arms a little bit further out to the side. All of these different angles offer a different benefit depending on the vector and, the variation adds to the benefit. So we're adding as much variation as possible. Okay? All right. Let's go right back into our bouncing, please. So again, just kind of shaking it out. Remember, what's the point of this movement? Move your circulation, your blood, your lymph. Get everything moving. Perhaps you want to practice bouncing in a boxer shuffle and keeping those arms up to protect yourself. That's an option. Perhaps you want to try getting a little bit lower with your bouncing. Just notice how that feels. So we're loading our feet and our toes in different angles, different directions, while simultaneously loosening up all the tissue, all the connective tissue of the body. Got about 25 seconds left. Then we're going to move right back into our break falls. Inhale, exhale, make sure that you're breathing. You want to add some landing, feel free. So remember, the landing is, as you land, you shoot the glutes back, arms come forward. All right. So right back into our break falls. This time, for me, I'm going to start a little bit higher. You can feel free to use a version that works for you. Okay, so again, just nice and ready. Lower yourself down with control. Come right back up. Pay attention to each part of the movement. Really slow down and explore what's happening as you lower yourself towards the ground with control. You're teaching your body how to move safely and productively. We got about 40 seconds left to enjoy this glorious movement pattern. Stay nice and light, nice and smooth. And remember, if your move is just to come from a kneeling position and to lower yourself slowly, that's amazing. The slower you go, almost the better, because you're making sure that you're focusing on that quality aspect versus the quantity. And we want quality so that we can have quantity. We want to be able to do these things for the rest of our lives, right? Okay, so from our sprawls, oh, I forgot our break falls. So we got to get back to our break falls. So from our sprawls, we're moving right back into our break falls. Remember, slow down that movement, control that movement, and feel what's happening inside. So as I rock back, I feel the connection between the upper and lower parts of my body. Okay, just really mining for sensations, staying nice and relaxed, adding shaking whenever I feel the need. And going at a speed that works for you. Nice and loose. Keep that body nice and relaxed. This is like ninja movement. Nice and quiet. Other than that little smack, nice and quiet the whole time. Got about 10 seconds to enjoy our rocking. Or more specifically, our break falls. All right. So going right back into our bouncing, last set. This time for me, I'm going to add some jumping. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to load, jump, and land. Change my position and jump. I also have a swing jump, and that's where I take one leg and I can swing it and jump. And if you're hopping like 1 foot, that's awesome. If that's where your body needs to be working today, then encourage yourself and know that that's okay. A little bit of a hop and a little bit of a controlled landing. That's what that is. Got about 30 seconds left. Maybe you want to get some height on that jump already. Whatever you like. Really get that body working in a way that works for you. 5 seconds left. All right. Last set of break falls. Let's go ahead and get it. I love the break falls because it's functional and the action of going down onto the ground and getting back up really helps to move the circulation productively. Remember, use a modification that works for you. Maybe you want to do a sprawl break fall combo. Choice is yours. Make it work for you. This is the day you want to turn it up a little bit. Feel free. Go ahead and get your break fall. And then add a little bit of a sprawl. Whatever works for you. 10 seconds. Woo! Okay, last set of sprawls, everybody. That last set was pretty intense for me, so I'm probably going to do some from a kneeling position. Okay, so remember, take your time and focus on quality of movement. Try to assess the movements of each of the joints as you lower yourself slowly. What's happening? So if you just had an intense set like I did the last one, slow it down a little bit. Quality over quantity so that we can have more quantity. That's the point. When you're ready, Bam. Get it. Just make sure it's working for you. Nice and strong and relaxed all at the same time. 10 seconds left. See if you can get a couple more reps in. Nice and easy. All right. So the first movement of our next movement series is a high hip crawl. So let's go ahead and we're going to bring the hips up off the ground and you're simply going to crawl with your hips high up in the air. Now this might be a position that you find yourself in when you're picking some weeds out of the garden. And just moving your arms, sweeping your arms, and crawling those feet. Play around with different angles, different positions. Maybe you want to add a little bit of wrist rolling for this particular movement. That's a doable option. Got about 30 seconds left. Play around with the movement of the scapula on the rib cage. Okay, so many different variations. Maybe I start to play around with what's happening in the lower leg, adding a gentle pulse or stretch. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and lower our knees down, and we're going to do a kneeling step out lunge. Okay, so from kneeling, all you're going to do, step out into a lunge and explore sensations in that lunge. Bring the leg back, switch sides. It's that simple. Okay, so I step out and I come right back. Now your toes can be flexed or they could be straight. Your butt could be resting on your heels, or you could be in more of a hip press position. Choice is yours. So you're just stepping out, and again, just exploring sensations of what's going on, especially in the hips on this one. Okay? You want to add an overhead reach, maybe do something else with your arms. That could be wonderful. Perhaps instead of just stepping out, you're just rolling through the ankle and then getting into that lunge type position. Feel free. Got about 10 seconds left. Lots of options here. Remember, it's not about right or wrong. It's about doing what your body needs and giving your body that essential movement nutrition that it needs. Okay? So from here, we're going to do some try or side sit transitions. So let's go ahead and come into side sit. That's one knee bent in front, one knee bent in back. I'm going to pick the leg off the ground, the back leg, kick it forward, kick out the other leg, and then bring that leg back. That's our first side sit transition. Okay, so you're just taking that back leg off the ground, using the control of the muscles of the hip, and then you're switching your legs and then bringing the other leg behind. Really pay attention to the activity and the awareness happening in the feet. Okay, you really want to strengthen your lower body or your foundation. And one of the ways we do that is by paying attention to the micro movements and then starting to control what's happening in those movements as we go. Slowing it down, controlling the movement. Got about 10 seconds left, and then we're going right back into our high hip crawl. So maybe get those wrists ready for some more movement. All right. So let's go ahead into our high hip crawl. Now remember, if this is hard on your wrists, you can always go into a loose fist position. The loose fist is a great option for doing these movements if you happen to have wrist issues or wrist trouble. So, but remember, if the high hip crawl is problematic for you, then maybe drop your weight back a little bit, and so that there's not so much pressure into the hands. Okay? So take your time. It's not about how fast, it's about almost really, rather, how slow and how controlled can you be during these movements. Can you think about being creative, about maybe stepping behind? You still got your hands in contact with the ground. You still got your feet in contact. Perhaps I want to add a little spice to my movement pattern. Whatever you like, that's totally cool. I guess if we wanted to assess the baseline of this movement, it's a crawl. Okay? So however you want that crawl to work out for you, that's awesome. Okay? All right. So from our high hip crawl right back into our step out lunges. Okay? So on this particular one, I'm going to start on my hands and knees, or my hands and feet, and I'm going to step out into my lunge, and then I'm going to bring my leg back, switch sides. So I'm going to step out, and as I step out, I remove the same side hand, and then I bring it back down. And again, once you're in these positions, explore. It's not about how many reps you could do. It's about how deep you can connect with your own body. That's what it's about. And we're using movement to enhance that connection and that relationship. So whatever you need to do today to make this movement practice really, really beautiful for you and your body, then you make sure to do that. Okay? Stepping out into that lunge position, exploring sensations, and switching sides. We're going into our side sit transitions next. So let's go ahead and come into our side sit position. This time what we're going to do is we're just going to swivel the knees from side to side. So swivel those knees side to side, but this time we're adding a hip press. So that just means we bring the hips up off the ground and then you lower yourself slowly towards the ground. Lower yourself very slowly, and that really accentuates what's happening in the posterior hip. So swivel, hip press, and lower yourself right back down nice and slow. Okay? Press and lower yourself down. Okay, you want to take the arms out of the hip swivels, feel free. But if you need to use your hands for support to press yourself up, that's totally cool as well. We got about 25 seconds left to enjoy this movement. So just take your time. Remember, it's not about reps. Feel your body. What's happening in the hip? Feel what's going on. Explore the sensations. Maybe lower yourself down slowly and then pop right back up into that hip press. Maybe lower the hands down. Maybe add a little bit of undulation through the spine. There's no limit. Okay? Imagination and creativity have no limits. Okay, so from our side sit transitions, right back into our high hip crawl. One last set. Let's go ahead and get it. So for this one, for me, I'm going to be adding some wrist rolling. I'm going to try to take my body a little closer towards the ground, and I'm going to practice loading my hands in ways that they don't normally get loaded. We typically load palm side down, so I'm just going to make sure I focus on adding some rolling, or I'm applying some load into the back side of my hand. Okay, and then switching sides. Maybe coming down onto my forearms and adding some movement from that position here. Whatever you like, you can always make it really cool and jump around a little bit, but you really just want to make sure it's safe. 10 seconds left. Just playing around with these movements and noticing what you can come up with your own creativity. Okay, So last set of kneeling step out lunges. So remember, use a variation that works for you. I can always step behind. I can step in front. I can step to the side. So many different variations. Just remember, feel what's happening in the feet. Okay? We're always wearing shoes, so some of those nerves in the feet, they don't get a lot of attention and they don't get a lot of stimulation. So when you're stepping out into these lunges, you're feeling what's happening in the foot, the knee, the hip, and making sure all these areas are moving. 30 seconds left. Inhale, exhale. Remember, as you're breathing, really expand those lower ribs, front, sides, and back, and really get an expansion of everything in between your clavicle and the bottom of your pelvic bowl. 15 seconds left. Play around with the sensations, play around with the positions, make it work for you. Okay? All right. So right back into our side sit transitions, last set. This time we're going to add a get up. So we swivel the knees side to side. We're going to do our hip hinge, hip press, and then we're going to take the back leg with control, bring it forward, and come to a standing position. Lower yourself down and reverse the path. Same movement path you used to go up, you follow it to come back down. Switch sides. So always ready, always long through the spine. When I lower myself down, I do it with control. If I can do the hiring or the elevation and lowering without using my hands, great. If I need to use my hands, that's cool too. If I need to have a chair to kind of press myself up, that's totally fine. Meet yourself where you are with love and without judgment. Okay? So take your time. Got about 15 seconds left. And we're going right into our next movement, which is going to be a supine bicycle kick. You guys are going to like this one. 5 seconds. All right. So let's go ahead down onto our backside, please. Now from our backside, what you're going to do is you're going to lift both legs off the ground. Now from this position, you're going to move your legs as if you were riding a bike. Okay? So your spine needs to stay in the same position. Now I can either imagine riding a bike or I can imagine striking with my heel and pressing through with control. I also want to make sure that my knees are together. So as I'm doing these movements, I'm keeping my knees closer together. Okay? And if I need to move myself into another position, I can do that. If I need to kind of circle around a little bit and start to get a little bit more dynamic with this movement, that's totally cool. Reminds me of that movie Jaws. Remember when that's probably not a good visual, but the shark comes up into the boat and the guy's like, ah! Okay, probably not a good therapeutic visual, but in any case, it's all about see how the imagination can be used one way or the other. That was an example of what not to do. Okay, so from our supine bike kick, we're going to go into prone Superman spinal extension. So let's go ahead down onto our stomachs now. So this time what we're going to do is we're simply going to extend through the spine with our arms either out to the side or in front. You're going to hold for about 5 seconds and then lower yourself down. That's about it. So you're going to come up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then slowly lower yourself down. Perhaps undulate your spine, rock the spine, relax it, and then when you're ready, come right back up. If this is way too easy and you want to add something to it, you can add some paddling. Just make sure that you're breathing as you go. Even though you're laying on your stomach, see if you can't breathe all the way through the front side, the part that's being compressed into the ground. Got about 15 seconds left. And from here, we're going to be going into a forearm arm sweep. 5 seconds. Okay, fam. So let's go ahead and prop ourselves up on our forearms. You're going to curl the toes under, lift the pelvis off the ground. Establish a good position in your plank first. Your feet could be as wide apart as you want. The closer they are together, the harder this movement's going to be. So you're going to take your hand, bring it to the front, towards the ceiling, towards the back, and then reverse the path. Switch sides. So I'm going to bring the arm forward, up, back, reverse the path. Bring it down. Switch sides. So this movement is all about controlling the shoulders and the abdominal area, or the core as a whole. So that's front, sides, back. Okay? So you're really focusing on stability. If you need to get your knees down onto the ground for more support, that's totally cool. You're sweeping that arm around, really reaching through the fingertips, and just seeing, like, if you had to reach for something in any direction, how far can you reach? And the more you use your imagination, the more you can add to the benefit of your movement practice. Okay, guys, right back onto our backside for our supine bicycle kick. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to add a little bit of rocking because we didn't have much rocking in this movement series today. So I'm just going to rock back, and I'm going to add my bicycle kicks. Sometimes I could slow it down. Maybe get the arms in close towards the body. Maybe take the arms above the head. Explore different positions while you do your bicycle kick and see how it adds to the benefit of your work. So if my arms are above my head, it's going to have a different effect than when I have my hands in front of my chest. Okay? Perhaps I want to stay in this position and maybe add some leg circles to focus on building control and stability in the hip itself. Choice is yours. Got about 20 seconds left. Breathe deeply and expansively as you go. I guess I'm doing a wheelie on this one. I love wheelies. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and roll onto our stomachs for our Superman push-ups or Superman spinal extensions, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to practice lifting not just my arms, but also my legs. So I'm pressing through the posterior hip, squeezing through those glutes, and then lifting the legs up off the ground while I lift my arms up. I can do a contralateral arm leg lift. I can add my swimming aspect. And how I know personally when I need to take a break is just when I get to that point where, not when I feel like I'm done, but a few reps after that. And when you do it that way, you're going to be focusing on building strength and cultivating more power and control. Okay, and then when you're ready, take your little break. Maybe add some movements of the lumbar spine. Give yourself permission to move in ways that you don't typically see people moving in the gym. Okay, about 5 seconds left. All right, let's go right into our forearm plank arm sweeps. So scoop those arms underneath you, get the knees up off the ground, going right back into our arm sweeps. Try to stay controlled through the whole movement. You're hearing a lot of clicking, popping sounds, then maybe that's a sign that you need to tone it down a little bit. Maybe modify your movement, decrease the range of motion, maybe decrease the speed, change something up. Snapping and popping isn't wrong. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It's an indication that there could be some tissues that need some support, some strength, some cultivation, some stretch, some work. So pay attention without judgment. Love that body, take care of that body, and it's going to take care of you. Take your time, sweep the arm as far as what's comfortable for you. These are body weight movements, so you should be able to extend your body into ranges that work for you. Okay? All right, guys, right back into our supine bicycle kick. One more set. On this one, I'm taking it all the way up into the old school. I can remember doing this when I was 5 years old. Bicycle upside down. That was a strawberry shortcake record that my sister used to play. FYI. Okay. If you remember record players and strawberry shortcake. Okay, I'm going to just play around with some different positions here. Just slow it down. This is good, because a lot of times there's a benefit in allowing the fluids to drain from the feet towards the head. Okay, and then when I lower myself out of this one, I can do that nice and slow, going down one vertebrae at a time. Got about 10 seconds left, and then we'll go right back into our prone Superman spinal extension for one last set there. Okay, let's go ahead onto our bellies and get it. So right back onto your belly. Relax for a moment if you're feeling a little fatigued. Perhaps you want to modify what you're doing with this one. It's a spinal extension. So as long as you're getting some sort of spinal extension, you can add your arms or not. If you just want to get into the spinal extension piece, that's totally cool. Perhaps you want to take the arms down to your sides. Perhaps you want to add just a little bit of the starting motion of a push-up. See if you can kind of control yourself through that position, but always going back to the original movement, which is spinal extension. Okay, so add what you like and remember what the original movement is. Okay, so keep going. Got about another 20 seconds left. And this one, I'm just getting creative with it, moving my feet, moving my arms and my feet. So many different options. Make sure you're just making it work for you. All right, guys, our next movement series is going to be coming from a standing position. We're going to do some hip hinging, tripod transitions, and lunge clocks. Let's go ahead and come to standing, please. So from our standing position, we're going to start with a hip hinge. Feet are shoulder width apart. Spine is long first and foremost. Place the hands on the hip and tilt the pelvis forward. Come right back out of it nice and slow, and then go right back into it. So technically, for me, I like to go slow as I descend towards the ground, and then as I come back up, I move with a little bit more speed. Okay? So I use the loading of my tissues as they elongate, and then my concentric movement is quicker. Okay, so eccentrically slow, concentrically quick. Make it work for you. You want to pause in this position, get a little bit of movement through the spine, through the hips. Feel free, choice is yours. You want to bounce it out a little bit, make sure that you're nice and loose, and then get right back into it. Nice and strong. Sit back through those hips. Okay? You want to move a little bit quicker so you can pump out a couple reps. Feel free. Okay? Play around with touching the ground if you like. Okay? Nice and easy. All right. Our next one is going to be a tripod transition. So let's lower ourselves towards the ground. And all you're going to do is you're going to drop your hips towards the ground. And as you do, the leg that's closest to the ground is going to come under the body. That's it. This is our tripod transition. So you can see there's 3 points of contact, and then we reverse the path. Okay? So you just lower the hips, draw the leg under, and now you're in your inverted crawl and reverse the path. Okay? Nice and strong the whole time. I just had to add some of these today because I really love what they do for the shoulder. Okay, nice and strong. Perhaps you can add a little bit of crawling once you get into your position. If you want this movement to be more of an abdominal exercise, all you have to do is the leg that's traveling under the body, keep it closer to your body. So you can see I have my leg kind of close and tucked in. This helps to make it more of a like an abdominal type exercise. So you can add a kick if you like. As you pass under, boom, get a nice kick. 5 seconds left. And then from here, we're going into our lunge clock. So let's go right back up to standing, please. Lunge clocks means that I'm going to step in different directions. So I got forward, side, so that'd be like 12, 3, 6, step behind to 9, step in front, go back to 9, whatever you like. The idea is to step out in multiple angles or multiple directions, okay, with control. When you're ready, go ahead and switch legs, stepping forward, stepping back, focusing on a strong upright body the whole time, okay, stepping out to the side, stepping behind, stepping in front, whatever you like. Keep it nice and loose. You can switch sides again 2 more times, okay, stepping in many different areas and then exploring the sensations once you get there. Okay, switch legs one last time. Stepping out, make sure it's nice and quiet. As you lower your foot towards the ground, make sure that it's not making a big thumping sound. You want it to be nice and quiet. All right. Got about 5 seconds left. Going right back into our hip hinge. This time we're going to do it from a staggered stance. 1 foot in front of the other. So it's the same hip hinge. It's just coming from a different leg position now. Okay, so as I hinge, I come forward, I come up, and if I want, I can switch legs right away, or you can, rock out a couple reps and then make your switch. Choice is yours. Play around with different positions and remember what the movement is. It's a hip hinge, which means you want to focus on hinging at the hips. That's the focus. Not about reps. It's about quality. It's about feeling and cultivating that relationship with your body. Learning how to translate the messages and signals of the body more productively. So the more we focus on the inside, the more we can work with what's going on the inside. Key word there is work with. With is the key word. Okay, so staggered stance, hip hinge, and add whatever undulations you want to make it work for you. You want to kind of lower yourself down a little bit? Feel free. Okay, you want to shimmy yourself down and shimmy yourself back up? Feel free. Okay, so right back into our tripod transition. So lower yourself down with control, get those hands in position, drop one hip and then bring the knee under. Now you're in an inverted crawl. Reverse the path. Okay, whatever you want to add on this one is totally cool. I have one more transition yet you can add if you want, and that's just to kick the leg over instead of coming under. So the first one we did, we brought the leg under. There's another one where we could bring the leg over. So whatever version works best for you, that's the one that you want to use this morning. Okay, nice and strong. If those wrists are feeling like, it's a little bit too much, then bring the knees down to the ground. Maybe just focus on slowly mobilizing the shoulders and hips. And then if it feels right, go ahead, go right back into your movement, nice and strong. Spread those fingers wide. Make sure that the shoulder sits right on top of the hand. Inhale, exhale. As you breathe, breathe all the way down into the bottom of the pelvic bowl. So you're really expanding as you breathe so that you can draw in more energy from the air around you. Okay. So from our tripod transitions, going right back into our lunge clock. So let's go ahead and come to standing, please. Maybe bounce it out a little bit. And then when you're ready, go ahead, get into your position. Step out to the front, maybe pause there for a moment, make it more functional by touching the ground, adding some context. Maybe I'm in my garden, need to reach for this, reach for that, whatever you like. Come out of it, maybe switch sides on each rep. Choice is yours. Okay? So we're just adding different details to make it work for us. Okay? We'll step out to the side. Just kind of play around with loading the knee and the ankle and the foot in different ways. Got about 25 seconds left to enjoy this beautiful movement pattern. Just stepping out into different directions and getting into a nice lunge. Okay, so we got one more set of all of these motions. So we got one more set of hip hinges. Let's go ahead and get it. This time for me, I'm going to have a wide stance. Okay, so same movement, just from a different starting point. Okay, so I'm going to get myself ready, loosen my spine, get a little bit of movement going there. And then when I'm ready, long through the spine and hinge, hinge. This is not about a 350-pound deadlift. This is doing the movement safely and teaching our body how to do the hip hinge safely. And then when you actually have to pick up a load, you're going to have muscle memory in terms of how to do that movement safely without injuring yourself. Sometimes in life, we have to pick up heavy things. And we don't always take the time to, okay, let me make sure I got my good posture, my good alignment, okay? So, sometimes you don't have time to think. So this is one of the many reasons why we practice these movements, is so that we can train our bodies and teach our bodies how we want them to be able to move throughout the rest of our lives. Okay, 5 seconds left. Nice and relaxed. Hinge it out. And then come back up nice and strong. Okay, tripod transitions, last set. So lower yourself down with control and work through these movement patterns in a way that works for you. For me, I like to focus on length through the spine and being able to look around in my environment. Okay, so it's not just looking down, but also looking up and around. Okay. Once I'm ready, change my position with control. Okay, nice and strong. I really love this movement a lot. I feel like for a person who's had a lot of shoulder injuries, but no shoulder surgeries, this movement right here for me really feels lovely. It feels safe. As long as I do it slowly and as long as I do it mindfully, it's a beautiful movement. 10 seconds left. Slow it down. Maybe add some shoulder pulses if you like. Just exploring the sensations there. Okay, guys, last set of lunge clocks. Let's get it. And then we'll be moving into a beautiful stretch. So get yourself motivated and feel that movement as you go. Perhaps you keep your feet in a similar position and then just lunge and move yourself through those positions. That's fantastic. Stay light and buoyant. Even if your feet are kind of close together for your lunge clocks, that has just another benefit. It's not better or worse, it's just different. So the more variety, the better. Make it work for you. Feel it out. As long as you're staying in that play mode, which is the convergence between challenge and comfort, right in the middle, there's a sweet spot. It's called play. So if your movements are too challenging, you might hurt yourself. If your movements are too comfortable, you're not gonna grow and improve. So you wanna have that sweet spot of play. So feel your body and learn what play is for you. Okay, guys, we're gonna move into our cool down series. We're gonna start in a side sit position. And what we're gonna do from our side sit is we're gonna add a belly roll transition. So check this out. Whatever leg is forward, I'm going to place that arm down onto the ground. From here, I'm going to bring my other arm down and I'm going to switch my side sit by rolling on my belly. So remember, this isn't right or wrong. Let's see if we can figure this one out together. So I'm in side sit, I lower down, I switch the positions of my lower body, and then I sit up and side sit the other direction. That's pretty much it. So lower down from side sit, change the position, and come right back into side sit the other way. Whatever version you're doing right now, I'm sure is totally fine as long as your body feels comfortable and strong. So lower yourself down, slow and controlled, and come into side sit the other direction. Nice and easy. For me, I like to slow down in the abdominal position because for me, as I roll on my belly, I'm massaging through the front sides of my quads. So the front side of the upper leg. That's what I feel getting massaged as I transition from side sit to side sit. Okay. You might be feeling other things, and that's cool too. Just as long as the things that you're feeling are not messages where your body's saying, dude, you need to like change that completely. And if that's the case, then feel free to do so. Okay? So from here, we're going to do a prone on our forearms to beach pose. Check this out. So you're going to get on your forearms. From your forearms, you're simply going to roll to one side. This is beach pose. Now, what I can do is I can accentuate the stretch that's happening on the side of the body by pressing through the forearm that I'm supporting myself on. Okay? Then I come into my prone position, spinal extension, and then I just roll to the other side. Now I'm in beach pose, if you will, on the other side, pressing firmly through the supporting arm and just enjoying a gentle stretch. If you want to add an overhead reach, maybe I need to go grab my beverage, okay, my water. Okay, so nice and strong, beautiful beach pose. Make sure you can check out what's happening in the ocean around you, right? Nice and easy. Lower yourself down, maybe add some gentle undulations through the spine, and get into your beach pose. Okay, so switch at a speed that works for you. You can take it up a little bit further if you like. So now I'm in more of an upright position. This is bear rug pose. Fake bear rug, that is. Okay, so again, I can come up, and these are just variations that I can add so that as I'm in a comfortable position or trying to recover, trying to relax, I have these different positions that I can get myself into. So next time you're watching the TV or whatever it is, instead of just collapsing into a couch, maybe you come down onto the ground and you start to add some of these different positions. Okay, got about 15 seconds left. Let's check the time. Oh, think I went over, fam. All right, guys, so from here, our last stretch that we're going to do for today is a prone pec stretch. So you're going to lay down onto your belly. Your arms are going to be in a gold post position. You're going to simply reach one leg over and behind. Inhale, exhale. This is a beautiful stretch for the front side of the body. By front side, I'm talking about the chest. I'm also talking about what's happening in the hip of the leg that's on top. Nice and relaxed. You can come in and out of this position if you like. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. and then switch sides. Okay, so arm comes out to the side, and you're controlling that movement. Inhaling, exhaling, nice and relaxed, nice and strong. Now, if you're like me and you got to get on with the rest of your day, then feel free. You could pop right up right here and, jump into the shower and, get yourself ready for the rest of the day. And that's totally cool. Now, if you got more time on your hands, then maybe you want to continue your restoration through stretching and through diaphragmatic breathing. Excuse me, as I cough. Then you maybe lay on the ground and breathe for 2, 5, maybe 10 minutes, whatever it is, whatever time you got, and that would be great. So just kind of relax in a prone, or more rather the supine position, and just breathe it out. But for those of you that got to get on with your day, you feel free to do so. I really hope that you enjoyed that movement session today. I guess at the very least, I broke a little sweat, but I most certainly enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you guys being here with me today. Also, make sure to move throughout the rest of your day and smile a lot and bring into mind things you're thankful for, and see if you can't embody a powerful posture throughout as much of the day as you possibly can. Don't waste your time feeling sorry for yourself or anybody else. Make sure to fill your mind with medicine. Lots of love to you guys. Thank you so much again for being with me today. I appreciate you, and I just hope that you guys have the most amazing, fulfilling day today, and that you pay that forward by being a blessing to someone else. So have a beautiful day, lots of love, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Bye.